Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Boitumelo, your social science presenter. Today we will be looking at history. We are moving away from geography. So guys, I'm done setting your question paper for the test. It is ready. It is ready to chow you guys. I'm kidding. It won't chow you. It is very simple and straightforward. So I believe you are all going to pass it, okay? You are all going to pass it, I promise you. It includes all the things that we have learned, okay? It includes all the things that we have learned. So if you know your geography very well, I promise you, you are going to pass it, okay? Nice one. So I'm happy to see everyone on the group chat. Hello, guys. Thank you. And then you are going to get the test on Friday, okay? On Friday, okay? Friday morning, you will be writing geography. I'm not sure about the time, okay? So it will be up, and then you guys should download it on the newsletter, I think. Okay, so yes, today we are looking at historians, future historians. We are looking at Southern African kingdoms, okay? Southern African kingdoms. Perspectively, we are looking at the changing society in the Limpopo Valley, okay? The changing societies in the Limpopo Valley. So we'll be focusing at change mostly of societies, okay? I believe you have done this in term 1 as I've written. It is a revision from term 1. You know about the changing societies in the Limpopo Valley. So who still remembers all the things that you did in term 1 about the changing societies in the Limpopo Valley? Can raise your hand and then tell us the things you remember about the changing societies in the Limpopo Valley. You tell us what is it all about, if you still remembers all those things. Okay, since it's a revision, it will be nicer for people to tell me what they think. Okay, Kamohelo on the group chat says Mapunguwe. Yes, it takes us back to Mapunguwe. Okay, Mapunguwe. Pungubje. Any pronunciations? Okay. So, who can tell us? Raise your hands, guys, and tell us a story about the changing society of the Limpopo Valley. Of the Limpopo Valley. Somebody is asking me on the group chat, ma'am, do you know Great Zimbabwe? Yes, I know Great Zimbabwe. What is it about? Okay, nobody, no participant. Okay, fine. Let me let's do our revision then. You guys, okay. Kamuhelo.
Ma'am.
Hi.
I think they were talking about Mapungu, an ancient society in Limpopo.
Yes, fantastic. Thank you, Kamuhelo.
There was a king who lived on top of the hill, and he was separated from normal people.
Nice.
Normal people lived at the bottom of the hill, and then middle class lived on the middle of the hill.
Yes.
They thought the king, when he lived on top of the hill, could communicate with the ancestors.
Fantastic.
Yeah, man, that's all.
Oh, my boy. Thank you so much. I'm proud of you. Thank you very much. Kisses. Okay, yes. Awetu says Mapungube. Okay, fantastic. Yes, we'll be looking at Mapungube. And guys, thank you to Kamuhelo for giving us heads up about what the lesson will be about. It shows that Kamuhelo has a great mind. Okay, so our lesson based on 4 things. It is a revision. You have done this before, okay? So if you have any questions, query about this lesson, you raise your hand or you write in the group chat. I'm gonna see you, okay? By the end of the lesson, you should know how societies changed over time, how societies changed over time, okay? In the Limpopo Valley, okay? And then it is a discussion. Don't be scared to raise your hand. Please talk to me. I won't eat you. Okay, we are learning from each other here. So we discuss, you raise your hand, I pick you. Okay, cool, nice one. So, introduction. Okay, societies changed over time. Okay, societies change over time. For example, your life today is different from how your great grandparents lived when they were children. Okay, so societies changed over time. Okay, we are not living the same life that our grandparents were living before. Ours is very different. And then your children, guys, and my children will live a different lives as well than the way we are now living. Okay, so times change and societies change as well. Okay, so you learned in grade 4 and 5 that over time, African societies changed from hunting and gathering to herding and farming. Okay, that's what you learned about. Okay, I've got hands here together.
Ma'am?
Yes.
No, ma'am, I was also saying that most of our great grandparents had great parents which were San.
Yes, which were the same, right? Fantastic. Thank you, Mohale. Okay, so yes, as you've learned in grade 5 and 4, you learn that African societies change over time from hunting and gathering, okay, to herding and farming, okay. Herding cattle such as donkeys, sheep, and so on, and then farming, okay. Then in this topic, we will focus on Mapungube, okay, which used to be a booming settlement in the Limpopo Valley, okay, 800 years ago, okay. So you will find out possible reasons why societies in this area changed, okay. You'll find out the possible reasons why the society changed in this during the time, okay. So now we'll be looking at changes in societies in the Limpopo Valley. Who can tell me what were the changes before I start preaching? Who can tell me what were the changes in the Limpopo Valley? What do you think were the changes in the Limpopo Valley? What do you think were the changes in the Limpopo Valley? What do you think were the changes in the Limpopo Valley? Anybody? Awetu, Mukako, Mukhale, Piwa, John Slay. Come on, guys, talk to me. Bobut. Let's discuss. Okay, nobody home. So you guys can raise your hand, ask me anything as I'm continuing, okay? Yes, so changing societies in the Limpopo Valley. Okay, here we go. About 900 AD, African farmers moved south from southern Zimbabwe and east from Botswana. They settled in the Limpopo Valley about 10 years ago. Note this, about 900 AD. Who can tell me what does AD stand for? What do we mean when you say AD? Because now we are talking about the 980s. What does that mean? AD, Piwa.
Ma'am, it
Yes.
stands for Anno Domini.
Anna Domini. Yes. In English?
In English, after Christ.
Yes. It is after what?
After Christ. I mean, after Christ's death.
The year that Jesus was born. The year of our Lord. Yes, it means the year of our Lord. So we have BC that stand for before Christ, and then we have AD that stand for a year of our Lord, which is the year Jesus was born. Do you understand? Okay, cool, Piwa. Thank you very much for your contributions. AD stand for the year Jesus was born. Okay, so during that time, African farmers moved south from southern Zimbabwe and east of Botswana to settle in the Limpopo Valley. Okay, to settle in the Limpopo Valley. Okay, so moving on. The first societies in the Limpopo Valley were for farmers and cattle owners, okay? It had a lot of farmers and cattle owners. Later, people moved into the Limpopo Valley, okay? And then the elephants were valuable because of their ivory tusks, okay? Elephants were valuable, okay, during that time because of their ivory tusks. So, ivory and gold during this time were imported for trade. Ivory and gold were imported for trade. And then between the 900 AD and the 1300 AD, African people developed the first complex society in the southern Africa. In 900 AD and 1300 AD, African people developed the first complex society in the southern Africa. Then the settlement of the Limpopo Valley became bigger and bigger, okay, whereby many people lived in large settlement, okay, and then trade developed with places across India, okay, so they started to trade with places across the Indian Ocean, okay, and then settlement, okay. Settlement in the Limpopo Valley before things began to change. So I'm going to tell you about the settlement in the Limpopo Valley before things started to change. How were they living? Okay, so about 10 years ago, about 1,000 years ago, Societies in Southern Africa include the Limpopo Valley, were organized in hierarchical way. Okay, were organized in hierarchical way. Who can tell me how were they organized in hierarchical way? How was it? How were people treated in hierarchical way? When we say people were organized in hierarchical way, what pops in your mind? People were organized in hierarchical way. People were organized in hierarchical way. Okay, nobody home. Okay, none. All right, let's move. This means that people were more important. The answer is on the screen. This means that some people were more important and powerful than the others. Okay, people were not equal. Okay. And then cattle and land, cattle during the time before change, cattle and land were imported resources. Okay, cattle and land were imported resources. People who owned cattle and land could control and dominate others. Okay, so if you were having cattle, you're having cattle during that time and having more land, you were like you were able to control other people. Okay, because you are wealth and you have the resources. Okay, cattle and land were seen as men's property. Okay, so during that time before the change happened, okay, cattle and land were seen as men's property. Okay, so it was a thing that was owned by men. Okay, cattle were mostly owned by men, which meant that men had more control than women. So men had more control than women. As we've said here, if you had cattle and land, you were able to dominate others. Okay, and control others. So which means here men were the people who were mostly in control. Okay, then a man was the head of his household and made all the decisions. So the man was the one who was head of the household and would make all the decisions. Okay, and then the economy started to change. Instead of just farming, the economy included trade in cattle, ivory, gold, and other goods. Okay, so the economy during the time changed not because of farming, excuse me, not because of farming only, but it's because of trade. Okay, because now people were trading cattle, were trading ivory, gold, and other goods. Okay, across what Indian Ocean countries. Okay. So in continuing, men who owned more cattle and land had more, men who owned more cattle and land had more power because they had things they could trade. Okay, so if you had cattle, you were having a lot of power because you were having things that you could trade. Okay, so it made you look powerful. Okay, so by having more power, then men were able to make important decisions in the society. So if you were not having cattle and the things to trade, you were not having power. And when you don't have power, you don't have power to make a decision in the society. So you were as good as useless. Okay, so when you were having cattle, you were having power to say, to put your ideas in the community. Okay, and people will listen to you because you have cattle and you have power. So that was not really fair. Okay, that was not really fair. And then the population grew and people spread out over large areas. Okay, when the population grew, people then started to spread all over all over, okay? And then they were also organized into bigger groups. So remember, guys, this was before the change, okay? Yes, sometimes groups fought over resources like land, okay? Groups became organized, groups fought over resources like land. So they were fighting over land, okay? And then groups became organized for protection, okay? Because people were fighting over land, and then protection was also needed. Powerful leaders like chiefs and kings built up their own armies, okay? They made more weapons. So powerful leaders like chiefs built up their own armies, okay? They were ready for a war, okay? They made more weapons, okay, to protect their people and themselves. So people believed that the king was powerful, okay, and that his power comes from God, okay. As Mohale, I think it was Mohale who said this, that the king was powerful. Yes. So people believe that the king was powerful, and then his power came from God, okay, to protect his people. So they also believe that his power was passed on to the family, okay. So when the king died, his eldest son became the king. So some people, if the king can die, for example, and then other people from outside the family of the king were not allowed to say, now I want to be king. No, okay. So when the king died, it's either his eldest son will become the king, okay, because they believe that being a king is in the blood, okay. Yes, and the power will be easily passed on, okay. So kings and chiefs control all economic activities like mining, farming, and trading. So the king and chiefs were the one in charge of mining, farming, and trading. They decided where people could farm. They decided where people could farm, and the one who were giving out land. They also collected tax, okay, and tributes from the ordinary people under their control, okay? I hope you guys liked my story, because it's like I was telling you a story of the way of life during the Limpopo Valley. So people, I hope you were hearing me. Who can tell me the things that I was saying and the things you have learned while I was talking, reading it to you guys? Who can tell me that? The things you have learned as I was telling you about. Come on, guys. We learned about Mapungube. Okay. Who else? Bobo T.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, we learned about the more careful, the more successful you are.
Come again.
We learned about the more cattle, the more successful you are.
The more cattle you had, the more successful you were. Okay. Thank you very much, my boy.
Because the person will have a lot to trade.
Yes, the person will have a lot to trade. That's true. Thank you very much. Kamu?
Thank you, ma'am. I
Yeah.
learned about the history of Mapungube. I learned about how the powerful people lived on top and ordinary people lived on the bottom of the hill. And I also learned that in Mapungube, in old times, the eldest son of the king would
Yes.
become king if the king died.
Yes.
I learned that also people in Mapungube believe that the king had powers
Yes.
that were extraordinary.
Yes, from God. Yes.
Yes, ma'am, that's what I
Thank you,
learned.
my boy. Come on. Hello. Mohale.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, today I learned that the king mostly gets power from God. That's how people believe. That's how powerful he was. And then
Yes.
I also learned, ma'am, that what's this? That the son used to have war over what's this property and what's this livestock.
Yes. Livestock. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mohale. Pure.
I learned that men who own more cattle and land had more power because they had things they could trade with. And by having more power, men were able to make important decisions. And people believed that the king was powerful, and the power came from God. They thought the power came from God.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
when the king died, the eldest son became the king.
Yes. That's true. Thank you, Pure. Pure.
Thank you, Sese.
Yes. Mukamo. You can still raise your hands, guys, and tell me why are you scared to talk. You can raise a hand and tell me, okay, I'm gonna read Awetu's message. Awetu says, I learned about Mapungwe and that the more cattle you have, the more money you have. And then he also says that, and when the king died, they buried him with gold and expensive things, with ordinary people ordinary people will just be buried in a normal place. Okay. And then also learn about the changing societies in the Limpopo Valley. Okay. And then Mukamo also says that I've learned about the changes societies in the Limpopo Valley, which is true. Thank you very much. And then Mukhale, your hand is still up. I don't know why.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, I also wanted to ask, what if the king had two elder sons? Then what will happen?
Two elder sons.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it the other one must be young unless they are twins? You
So
see,
there must be, ma'am, if they're both the same age, do they both have to be king? Both of them together?
if they are in the same age. Okay, maybe, okay, for instance, let's just say they're in the same age because they are twins. The king will then groom one of them who is ready to be the leader, okay? But it never happened, okay, whereby we find that the king has maybe two elder sons who are in the same age. It never happened. But I believe if it happened, the king was gonna look for the son who's more dedicated to be a king, okay, and groom that the elder son, okay. So, but it never happened that the king has two elder sons the same time who are on the same age? No. Did I
Okay,
answer?
ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, Khale. Awetu says when the king died, they buried him with. Okay, I've read this message. Okay, cool. Nice one. Okay, we also have another one. Mugamo says that I've learned about the first societies in the Limpopo Valley that were farmers and cattle owners. Yes, they settled in Limpopo Valley about 1,000 years ago. Okay, so 1,100 years ago. Yes. So Piwa. Piwa, your hand is up. Okay, Piwa doesn't. Mukhale, your hand is still up. Piwa.
Sorry, sir, I have my hand up.
Okay, cool.
But
But you want to do what?
Mama, I wanted to add one thing to the story. So what I learned today was so ma'am, I learned about the hierarchical changes in the societies in the Limpopo Valley. I learned about how your social class was classified. I learned how you had power, and I also learned about the changes that took place, and also I also learned about the I also learned about the beliefs of the people and when this took place.
Nice one. Okay, too. Nice one. Thank you very much. Okay, nice one. So guys, let's wrap up. Let's close the session. Okay, tomorrow we'll be learning about the Mapungube Kingdom. Okay, we will be learning on what was happening in the Mapungube Kingdom, how were they living, and so on. Okay, so you should go and read about the Mapungube section in term 1, and then we will be fine tomorrow. Okay, so we can discuss. So guys, enjoy your next class. Okay, before I forgot to write the date. We are writing history on the 22nd. I believe the 22nd is on Wednesday. So we are writing on Wednesday. It's history. And then geography Friday. Okay, the 24th. The 24th, it's geography. The 22nd, it's history. Okay, I have set your thinking, your geography paper. It is ready. Okay, ready for everyone. So if you need textbooks, you can go download these ones. You can go download these ones. You will be fine for the test, but don't copy and paste. Okay, you don't copy and paste, because I'll be asking you questions whereby when you copy and paste, I'm going to see. Okay, so don't do that. Don't copy and paste. Use your medulla oblongata. Okay. So if you have any question, you can email the school here at stemdigitalschool@africatingreeks.co.za, or you can email me here at tumi96mukwena@gmail.com, Instagram here at Djibouti. So who has questions? Who has questions? Or who wants to say something before I end the lesson? Questions, query, addition, subtraction? Mohale.
I just wanted to say bye, ma'am.
Okay, bye. Thank you. You should enjoy your day, ne?
You too, ma'am. Bye.